Welcome to Third Chances, a talk show where we like to hear from people who devoted their life to health, fitness, and wellness. Medical professionals, health coaches, and all the others who help us every day to cure our body, mind, or soul. Those who always look for more natural, holistic ways to help even more people to live a happier and healthier life. Those who don't like to give up easily and settle on you or themselves. It is never too late or too soon. I always believe that every one of us deserves not just a second chance, but as many as we need. I'm Vera, your host. Who better than a master of reinvention with an accent to guide you through it, right? Just like they say, you are not a tree, so move. And God knows I have done just that in my own life many times. If you are not completely happy with the direction your life is going, this show may help you get the courage to change what is needed, find a new path, and take charge. So come on over, pour yourself a glass of wine, and spend some time with us. Let's laugh and cry together and get inspired by people just like you and me who overcame their own doubts and took a leap of faith to reinvent their life on their own terms. I hope and pray that we help you on that journey. And if you feel so compelled and inspired, please let us know. Don't be shy. Who knows? You may just be our next featured guest with another inspiring success story. So here we go. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Third Chances, where we talk to people who overcame hardships in their life and are now in service of helping others to get healthier, wealthier, and happier. And one of these people who is extremely successful in this is Leland Duyck, who is my today's guest. And I'm so grateful that he took time from his very busy schedule to join us. And I believe it's from Texas, right, Dad?
That's correct, Plano, Texas.
And I'm gonna keep calling you Doug until I slap myself in the face. I'm so sorry, Leland.
No problem.
My God. Leland is someone who was orthopedic surgical physical assistant in orthopedic surgery for 13 years. So he developed a passion for this field. He became co-owner and founder of retail chain of Back Stores, and co-owner and founder of Global DME Orthopedic Sports Medicine Distribution Company for 21 years. He was also partner and executive director of sales for two separate global orthopedic and sports medicine manufacturing facilities that were built for 10-year stints and then sold. He owned and operated a 450-acre cattle ranch from 1994 to present, which I'm extremely jealous of. But that's only your past. And I would like to start there because then something significant happened that actually turned your life completely around. And that's why I do this podcast. I'm showing that we can have a certain successful path, and then something happens and we need to reinvent, readjust. And you have done it masterfully. So welcome, Leland, to our podcast. And please start, what made you look into this health field at the beginning of your career?
Well, when I was 18 years old, I was working a summer job before I went off to college. I had received a scholarship in basketball and baseball, a dual scholarship to college. And I was working in the summer trying to make extra money so I would have money going off to college. And I had a practical joke played on me at our manufacturing facility, and I caught my foot in a conveyor belt with steel rollers, and it pulled me in up to my ankle joint. And I went through 14 or 15 months, 6 different surgeries to reconstruct my foot, and broke all the bones in the lower foot. I have a big hole about that big, it looked like a shotgun blast kind of to my foot. And my main concern was my sports, and I'd worked my whole life to get there. And they were telling me they wanted to do a midfoot amputation on my foot.
Wow.
And my dad said, no, we got to find somebody that can save this. And we went through 5 or 6 different doctors before I found one that says, I think we can save it. Can't guarantee it, but I think we can, and I'm willing to work. So that's who we chose. And he went to work, and sure enough, with pins, cross pinning my bones, skin grafts to my foot, I went through a lot. They said all my toes would curl real bad, hammer toe, because all the tendons were cut, and that I probably wouldn't be able to play ball or anything like that, even if it was repaired. So at night, I tied my foot into a 1x12 board and strapped it in so my toes couldn't curl while I was sleeping. And I was bound and determined I was not going to let those toes curl. And after about 7 months of that and working on them through therapy, it got better. And I started going to the gym and trying to jump and shoot. It was painful. Skin was very tender. It took a while to build my skin back to where it was being an athlete. But I did it, and a year later, the college I was going to redshirted me because of my injury, and I ended up going up into Kansas and playing basketball and baseball, and it was great. I played 3 years there until I got a call that I'd been accepted into my medical school program back in Dallas.
And that was your original plan? Yeah.
Well, I wanted to go, but the surgeon that did my surgery was opening a new physician assistant program at Southwestern Med School in Dallas, and wanted to know if I'd be interested, because I found those surgeries interesting. I would have them do spinal so I could peek over the paperwork and watch what they're doing. And I thought, that's interesting. I think I could do that. And so I was hoping I could do it, because if I'd see blood or anything, I'd get lightheaded and dizzy. He said, you'll get past that. So anyway, I came back and went through that program and got my degree and went to work for some local orthopedic surgeons. And I was a surgical PA. So I worked for 72 surgeons in 9 different hospitals, just firsthand assisting them in all their surgeries. So I did everything from orthopedics to OBGYN, general surgery, plastics. I went through trauma at night with the trauma hospital at Parkland and did my training there, where we see a lot. That's the county hospital. So I was kind of skilled in all areas, and I had to pick what I wanted to do. And I ended up picking orthopedics. And that's what I did for 13 years on the surgery side. And until I had this little entrepreneur spirit hit me, I was seeing all these injuries from athletes that would get hurt while they were wearing their braces, their knee braces or ankle braces. And I didn't like the quality of the product. So we started working, developing and designing. And I can stick draw, but I can't draw. But I knew in my mind what I wanted. And with the help of the manufacturing and an art guy, he would draw out what I wanted. And then we would take that and put it into a prototype. And then we would bring it to market. And I started off locally with high schools and colleges, and then it grew to other local high schools and colleges and physician offices all over the country. And the next thing you know, some of these doctors were team physicians. So the next thing I knew, I was in the NFL, I was in the NBA locker rooms, I was in professional baseball, I was in all kinds of sports, professional sports.
Fascinating.
We worked with ATP tennis exclusively with a gentleman there. And we also had the Veterans Administration contract for all our vets in the country for 11 years.
Oh, that's
so we manufactured a lot of braces for a lot of people. Even our competitors would make their braces and put their name on it because they like the quality of American-made products. So anyway, that's where I got started. And
that's fascinating to me, the entrepreneurial spirit, when you saw a hole in the market and you went for it and you did the best you could. It's amazing to me. Like, I didn't grow up in country with entrepreneurship mindset, so to me it's fascinating to see how someone took off and, you know, see the need and went for it. And congratulations, that's amazing achievement.
I think a lot of that's due to my parents. We had cattle when I was growing up. We had chores to do. We're always working. I mowed all the yards in my neighborhood for money. I threw a newspaper. I was always, you know, my parents weren't wealthy and blue collar workers. All of us worked. If we wanted something, we worked for it. And so I developed that at an early age. And so, you know, when I saw something, I wasn't afraid to try something, because my parents go, do it. It doesn't matter if you fail. Get up and do it again. You'll get it down. So I never had that fear of failing. So I would start projects and do things out of fear, not having fear that it was not going to work. I knew it couldn't work if I didn't try it. So that was kind of my mindset.
And it shows, yeah. But you were this successful for quite a few years, and you ran your cattle ranch on the side, which is on its own a huge project, because it's the acreage of the properties on its own, it's huge. So that was your hard kind of time spent, or how would you classify?
Well, first of all, I went through business for quite a few years, one 10-year stint, and then we sold the company. And then the company we sold to just destroyed it after they bought it. And all these distributors and accounts around the country kept calling us back to say, do it again, do it again. So we started up and did it again. And so we went another 10 years, and then I sold out of that after 10 years. And I'm doing it again now. This is my third and my final one. I am now 70 years old, and I think the key to life is staying healthy, and is to work and not just sit around. And I've always done that. And I just love traveling around to all the locker rooms of the professional players and the Olympic teams. We supplied all the 4 training locations for the Olympics. And so it's always really been a love of mine being an athlete myself. I played ball till I was 35. I played basketball overseas, Brazil. And so being engaged with it, even in the locker room, was exciting. Like watching the games and taking care of the players. So it just one thing led to another, Vera, with my career, having the medical background, and then the designing of the braces, and then going back to the medical field to take this to the market that needed it.
Yeah.
And so, and now I'm on my 3rd company right now, be the 3rd 10-year stint. I've been with this one 8.5. So probably another year and a half, we'll probably look to sell. And then that will be my last one at that point, because I run a couple of other companies as well. So it keeps me very busy. So,
some people don't achieve this in their lifetime, like one business like yours. So it is amazing. It's really some achievement. And so everybody understands that Leland was such a go-getter. He was never taking rest. He was always in action, always doing something. So it is stunning when something happened that you actually met the current company where we both are involved with. That story would happen when ASEA came to your life.
When I was introduced to ASEA, after saying no for almost 2 years because I didn't think I needed it, I didn't think it was real. I didn't study it in med school, so I didn't think it was real until I had a health challenge. And I was working my cattle, and all day in the corrals. I was tired, came home, went to bed, got up the next morning, and I couldn't even roll over on my own mattress. My fingers had turned into my palms. I had discomfort in every joint. I was miserable, and I was scared. I thought I'd had a stroke, but I didn't know. But my wife finally helped me to my feet, to the car, went to the hospital, and 7 weeks later, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder that really, Vera, just brought me to my knees. And so the doctor said, Leland, this is a very rare disorder. You probably never heard of it. And when he told me what it was, I just rolled my eyes. He said, you've heard of it? I said, my mom had it. And he said, well, how many children in the family? And I said, there's 5. And he said, well, you're the lucky one. She passed it down to you in genetics. Usually doesn't hit men till they're 72 years old.
How old were you then?
62. Wow. But he said, Leland, you're running 3 companies.
Yeah.
You're running wide open. You're not sleeping good. At 62, you're getting up 2 or 3 times a night and going to the bathroom. So you never get into that deep REM sleep that your body needs to recover from what you put it through every day. And he said, so I started on high doses of anti-inflammatories, pain medication. I went through all types of IV treatments to build my immune system back. I went gluten-free, sugar-free, alcohol-free, you name it. This boy went through it for 14 months. And at the end of that time, Vera, I wasn't any better. Matter of fact, I was worse because I'd become very depressed, which I'm it's hard for me to talk about sometimes being an athlete and a rancher and, raised around four boys. It's
Yeah,
kind of
hard to imagine because you are such a full of life and enjoying life. Yes, yeah.
So I didn't want to admit it because my dad on the farm, if we complained, he'd say, just put your big boy pants on and get over it. So I knew complaining wasn't an option. So I was pushing through it, trying to make it happen, and it just wasn't happening. And that's when my friend called me back. And he said, Leland, I know you're going through a tough time. I just don't understand why you'll take all those medications and all these treatments and you won't even try something that's non-toxic and can't hurt you, can only help you. I said, because I didn't study at med school. He goes, well, that's because you're old and this is new science. So I said, okay. So he sent me to pubmed.gov, where the doctors go to write their peer review articles. And that night I stayed up till probably 4 a.m. reading articles on these redox signaling molecules. And it gave me hope again, Vera. And I called my friend back and said, okay, I'm interested. I'm going to pursue it, to look at it. But if you want me to look at it, we have to fly out to the company where it is. He goes, what? And I said, I have to know that I know. It just seems too good to be true. And my dad always taught me when that's the case, usually it is. So I want to go. And we did. We flew out and I met the founder of the company. He ran a $37 billion division for craft food, very bright, one of the top 50 strategists probably in the country. And I went through their corporate office, but I wanted to go through their manufacturing plant because I had run manufacturing facilities with 150 employees. So I knew kind of what to look for. And I went, I'll have to be honest, with the purpose of proving that it wasn't real. It did seem too good to be true. But after being there, I don't impress very easy because I've been around big athletes and big businesses, but this company wowed me that day. I was in total shock with what I saw. The facility, you could eat off the warehouse floor, FDA approved, FTC approved plants. Unbelievable. And here they have a product with 30 something patents that nobody in the world has. And I was in the founder's office and there's a big hope chest in the corner overflowing with letters from people around the world that had got on this product and changed life. And I looked at a couple of those and I told him that day, I said, I've tried everything the medicine can throw at me. If this product works, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. That's what I told him. And he like, yeah. But the next week I was invited to a conference in Dallas at the Gaylord Hotel where they were having a big conference with this company. And I got there early. I wanted to sit at the front. I wanted to see everything that was going on. And I saw the leaders come across the stage and I saw testimonies from people. And I thought, man, they can't pay this many people to say this sort of stuff. This has got to be real. And I sat there with tears flowing down my face, just with hope. I still get emotional today. And it's been 7 years, but it brings that memory back where I was that day. I was hurting and I was actually, hard for me to say too, but I was thinking some crazy things because I didn't want to live that way.
Yeah, because you didn't see any way out of it. You put everything that was available into you and it wasn't making progress. Yeah, it's a kind of hopeless stage of the life. I can imagine. And isn't it fascinating that this company leadership has the exact same effect on everybody? That we basically ended up in tears most of the time because it's so overwhelming. There's not so much kindness to be seen in the world.
I've never seen an ethos. I've never seen a company with the leadership that this company has. They truly care for us as people, and it shows in how they run the company. And, when this company developed this product, immediately Big Pharma came at them and tried to purchase it for a very large amount of money.
Yeah.
And our founder turned them down. Who turns down that kind of money, that big amount of money?
Most and at the stage of his life when he could really retire and just enjoy his family, right?
Yeah, he didn't even start this, I think, till he was 69.
Right.
And developed.
I'm so sorry.
No.
What you were saying that you went to Dallas and see that at that point, were you already taking the product or did it take you multiple visits to convince yourself to try?
I had just started because when I was out there, when I came home, I ordered product and it had just come in and I started taking some of the product. I already felt it. I had more energy. But when you can't take the cap off a bottle of water, when you can't dress yourself or go to the bathroom without help, it was very much a humble pie for me with my background.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for my wife, I don't know what I would have done. And I went and I sat on the front row, and as those stories came across, tears just flowed with hope that I had found this. I thought I was a distraction because I was constantly rubbing my eyes and sniffling. And I got up and left the meeting, went to the restroom, and I came back in and sat on the back row. It wasn't 2 or 3 minutes here, those tears coming in. It was just, I think it was so much joy that I found something that could help me because I had lost all hope.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again, I had lost all hope. This was a last ditch effort for me to try to reach out and help myself because I'd been through everything else. And that week, the first week, about 80% of my discomfort in my joints went away. In the second week, my depression had started lifting. My wife said I was fun to be around again. So I guess when you're hurting, you're not fun to be around. But in the third week, my hands began to open and close like they had 14 months prior. And in 90 days, I came off 3 medications that I had been on for 8 to 10 years for high blood and sugar levels and high uric acid levels. And at 9 months, I came off a machine because I snored at night. And so I just continued to see progress. And with my background in medicine, there's no way, Vera, that I could just sit still and not share this, what was happening to me. And I told my wife, I have to know. I was just going to take this product. I had no interest in the business side at all. I had 3 companies. I just wanted to get healthy, and I would have traded all of them for my health. I realized at that time that my health was my biggest asset. And if I didn't have it, I couldn't run my companies. I couldn't do anything I wanted to do. And raised on the farm, I was a meat and potato guy, just, with all the boys. I wasn't into really watching so much what I ate everything I wanted because I always burned it off in sports.
Yes.
But when you quit playing, your metabolism changes, and I started gaining weight. I went from 220 to 280. I'm 6'5", so it's wasn't feeling good about myself, and then that hit. So that's what happens when you don't take care of yourself. Things like this that's when things creep into your body that you don't want. And so that's where I was, and this product just continued to get better. And I made a list of 50 people that I knew from either playing sports with or working with at the company or sitting on the board at church or wherever. I knew people that were hurting. I went to the first 30 on that list, and I said, y'all all have seen me sick. They said, yeah. I said, but you look great now. What's going on? I said, it's this new product that I discovered, and I know you've got an issue. And I was just thinking, maybe it can help you like it helped me. I can't promise anything because it's not a drug, thank goodness, or that, it's zero toxicity. Where do you find that? And native to your body. It's actually what you were born with. And I thought, wow. So I shared that with them, and guess what? My first 30 people said yes. And my first 30 people got results. And I knew then I had found and tripped on something pretty exclusive and exceptional that I had not seen when I was in the practice. And so that's where my journey started with this company. And I have just continued to reach out to people on a daily basis to say, you may or may not be interested, but I've got something that's changing lives all over the world. And we're in 33 countries right now. The company's debt-free. I've never seen leadership like this. It's the whole package, and I think you should look at it. And then when some of my closest friends or even family said no, it just crushed me.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't talk to your own family members. Like, well, you don't know anything about this. You're Leland, So it bothered me.
Even though they saw the results the impact that it had on your health. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? They're all involved now. They were watching, and they saw, and then they saw the success on the business side, and maybe we need to try this. So I've learned don't get upset when they say no. Thank them for their time and say, do you mind if I follow up with you later? Because it may be next week like me, or next month, or you might have a loved one you care for that needs something that can't hurt them. This should be the first product of choice that they take before medications or surgeries or treatments, because it's native to the body.
My question to you would be why it is so unique, why it affects anything in your body, why it is so different than anything else that is existing in nutritional space and juices and everything else. Can you just give a little simple explanation to why it's benefiting our body differently?
Yes, I'd be happy to. We all have these redox signaling molecules our body produces. We're born with them. But as we age, we lose about 1% a year. So at 62, I'd lost, 60% of the use of my body making these signaling molecules, which enhances and keeps your body healthy. Well, so because it diminishes, for the first time, we can drink something and put it back into our body that replaces what our body is not even physically capable of doing anymore at our age.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the science and the fact that it's non-toxic and can't hurt you. So they're little fleeting, they're little bitty molecules, little bitty, very tiny. And because they're tiny, they will penetrate, they go through the cell wall into the cell that's unhealthy. And they act kind of like a cascading effect, and they go through your body and connect with the cells that are unhealthy. And when your cells can get healthy in your body can heal itself the way it's designed to be. And so this science has just been incredible, and it's hard to wrap your head around it because the product starts off with water and medical grade salt, and they do a deionization, which is the purest form of water. Some people say, well, how can it help you if it's salt water? Well, that's where it starts, Vera, but then it goes through all these patented processes, and after 72 hours, when that process is done, it's no longer salt and water. It's the same molecular structure that's in your body. So that's why Huffington Post says it's the top 5 new emerging sciences in the world today, and they're ranking it right up there with the discovery of DNA and penicillin. Mm-hmm. And so this is a huge discovery. I don't know in my lifetime, at my age, we'll see a bigger discovery. It's amazing. And
you are somebody who was in this field for your entire career, and you knew about things coming up, and you knew the human body probably better than most people.
Well, I knew orthopedics pretty well, but I had never heard of redox. And that's why I pursued to study it, because I'd never heard of it. Back then, the exhaust, the ATP from our energy, it comes off, they thought it had no bearing. Right. Well, it's the most vital part of our life. It's the anti-aging part of us as we get older. And now to be able to replenish that, wow, what a discovery. And so, our Olympic athletes are on the product. And when they get tested for their anti-doping, it doesn't even show up because it's native to their body. Our professional athletes are on it. We're in about every major med school that I'm aware of teaching this. We're even in the local high schools today. I believe in the next, I don't know a time, I'm just throwing it out there based on what I've seen it do over the last 6 years that I've been with it. But I think in another 10 years, Vera, everybody's going to know about redox.
I certainly hope so, because everybody needs it. Even people that are feeling healthy, by your example, you never know what you wake up with in the morning. It's not to scare you, but we don't really know what's growing inside of us until it may be too late, as it was for my husband, that we had no signs, no symptoms. Everything was fine. He kept telling me he was feeling the best of his life. And a week later, he collapsed right in front of me in the house. So it's heartbreaking that, like you said, some people wouldn't even look at it because they just think it's shame. Looking at the science alone would give them a hint that it's probably something more. Every university in the world are studying the subject now, and they are coming to the company because we are the only company in the world that were able to stabilize those molecules. So that's the only place aside of our body to study it, actually.
Well, Vera, if it wasn't so good, why do you think the big pharma wanted to buy it so bad?
Yes.
And at a point, they said, we'll take all those studies back that you're doing where people are getting healthy, and we're going to take care of all that from the inside.
Yeah, they don't need that.
That time, he knew they weren't buying it to promote it. They were buying it to bury it. And sure. that meant a lot to me, knowing where he had come from. But I believe everybody's going to know this, just like the brand Kleenex in your home. I think everybody's going to know redox. We have 14 products now. with redox. Redox should be a lifestyle. It's not just a one-time deal. There's a multitude of books out. It's called Redox Matters. We have another one that Healthy Matters. And then there's another one called Why It Matters. There's multiple books coming out all over the country now about redox and why it's so important in your life. And why wait, like me, to have something happen to you before you take a look at it? This is a preventative product. You take it every day, it's a way of life. And to me, it's as important as oxygen, or, you can't live without it in your body. So it's just been a great discovery for me. It's changed my life, not only physically, Vera, but it changed it now financially, which I did not count on. And I'm making more today doing this from home than I did running my companies with a lot of employees. And
a lot of stress involved, being you have to physically be there most of the time to influence.
The cell phone, I can run my business from it, whether I'm here at my ranch. I was at my ranch this last week doing some mowing on my tractor with the big mower. I get calls from people. I shut the tractor off, take the call, go back to work. I can run my own schedule for the first time, because before I was the first one to work, the last one to leave. There was no not being there. Yeah. And today, probably the biggest thing other than my health, Vera, that I've received from this is my time freedom. To be able to come and go on my own terms, to be able to travel and do things I wasn't able to do before because I was always so involved with the business. So now I have people overseeing that business. I still run a 450-acre cattle ranch, which I run myself. I'll hire people from time to time to help me with projects. But this, to be able to do what I do at 70, I look younger today. I've lost weight. I'm 230 pounds now. I've lost 50 pounds. It's been a game changer, to say the least. And so I just try to get it out to everybody to let them know that this science is here. The company has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so they don't have anything to lose by trying it. And for those ones that are skeptical or even cynical like I was, here's what I recommend that you do. Because when somebody says no, or they call it a scam or whatever, I just laugh, because I was that person. I definitely was that person, so I understand it. But instead of arguing with them, just say, I understand, I was like you. Let me send you some information to look at. And that's where I started. And the company and people, us leaders in this company, have developed some great tools. So I didn't know anything about redox. I never studied in med school. It wasn't there. So today, people say, well, Leland, you've been successful because of your medical background. I don't believe that's true, because I knew nothing about redox. What I used is the tools that my team gave me. And if you can send a video to somebody and follow up with them, you can do this business. And I thought, wow, that's so cool. How many people want their own business but don't have the money to invest in the startup or to pay employees or do what they have to do? They can have their
mentoring. Yeah.
I'm at home with no employees, no headaches of what I had in brick and mortar business. It's not there. And I have so many physicians involved with us now, some making more than they made in their practice. And some of them have retired from the practice because they seem to be helping more people sharing this than they were doing the surgery or seeing patients. Yeah. So they get to pick and choose if they want to retire or whether they want to do both. We don't push that. All we let them know is the science is here, it's real, and it's going to get better and better and better. And top scientists from around the world coming to the company to go to work for our company because of the discovery that we have. So if you're not feeling well, you're with what the world's been going through in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of people sick. A lot of people have lost their jobs. There are a lot of people suffering today. We have something, it's the vehicle for health or wealth. And I just encourage people to open their minds, think differently. Is it possible? Before the world was flat, no one could ever fly a jet. We keep seeing all these things happen. Well, why couldn't this happen? And that's what I kept thinking. So open your mind and look at the science. When I first started at PubMed, there were 14,600 articles written by physicians. Today, there's 400,000. Yeah. That just shows you where this is going. And I'm so excited to see what my future is. But now at my age, I run the ranch because I love it. But after I get rid of the other orthopedic company, I'm just going to focus more on ASEA, because I can do this every day, talking to people on the phone and not having to go anywhere or doing a Zoom and sharing this great technology. And I'm changing lives all over the world, and I don't even know a lot of those names.
That's what I meant to say, that you have a much bigger impact than you could ever had with any of your other businesses, even though you were extremely successful.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true. And if people just want to get healthy, don't want to do the business, that's fine with me, because they have a negative toward what we call network marketing. That's the old school for me, where you stock all these products in your home and people come by and pick up products. We don't do any of that. What I love about this is my friends and family and people I approach with this, if they're interested, I get their own account set up directly with the company. I don't touch it. I don't ship it. I don't bill it. I don't inventory it. I do nothing but just tell them about it. And every time someone buys, the company rewards me for taking the time out to share what I'm sharing with you right now.
Yeah.
So it's like us going to a nice restaurant or out to a movie. We share it with our family and friends, and we don't get anything for it, right? I would do that with this just because it's so good. It so happens our company thanks us for taking the time, and I just start getting a weekly check. They pay us weekly, and it's been incredible. And to go where I was to where I am now is really just mind-boggling. And I don't know where the future holds, but I know that I believe in this for my health. I believe in it for my future wealth, and I know that I can do it even if I have to be at home in my older years. I can help people. So it's more gratifying to me, Vera, than doing the surgery and putting an athlete back on the field for a game or a season. I'm truly changing the dynamics of their life with cellular health.
Yeah, for life. And let's just touch up on your achievements, because you became triple diamond executive in 14 months, which is insane. You became 2017 Motivator of the Year award, which I wholeheartedly believe, because that's how I felt when I first met you, that you are this greatest motivator and encourager for people that are starting. 2017, you were at 3rd place Emerging Leader Award. 2017, you were at 5th place Emerging Leader Award. No, EMP Learner. I don't even know what is EMP Earner.
When you get to bronze level in this company, it's executive momentum pool.
Right.
Yes. You have drawn a percentage of all your downlines check, but it doesn't come out of their pocket. The company pays out of their pocket.
I see that. Yeah.
You continuing to advance in your ranks, if you will.
And you became
jumped in with both feet and went to work, and I went to diamond in 14 weeks. Yeah. I think that still may be the fastest. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just talking to people every day and sharing this, and then they would go share it with people, and it just took off. And that's when I realized I had something very powerful.
For somebody who didn't even want to get involved in the business.
Yeah. When you get an experience with the product, it changes. So when people say, I don't want to do the business, I still want to do the product side, fantastic. Let me get your account set up and you can order. Once they're on the product and they start seeing results, then I call them back and say, hey, you've been with us a while, you're seeing results. I know you said you didn't want to do the business side, but don't you have family and friends that need these products? Yeah. And if you don't want to do it on the business side, I would love the referral, and I'll call them and talk with them and help your family. And then then the company will pay me for that. Or you can switch from a customer to an associate, and then the company will start paying you. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do. So and it's you get
paid for your product that you use for yourself. You get paid with sharing it to others. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the write-offs in this company are great with the product that you purchase, and everywhere you go and talk about this, whether it's at dinner or traveling somewhere, just unbelievable write-offs. So for some of the wealthiest people in the world, they're involved in network marketing for that reason. But we don't call ours network marketing. We call ours next level marketing, because it's so different that we don't have to stock product. We don't have to ship it or bill it, or all we have to do is tell people, and they get their own account, and you're not even involved at that point. Unless they need you for something, they'll call you, or sometimes I'll do a 3-way call or get on a Zoom like this with someone on my team, because if I help them grow, then I automatically grow. So I try to take the focus off of myself and put it on my team, because I know what their needs are. Mm-hmm. And if I can help accomplish that goal, it just pushes me up the ladder even more. So we have an incentive to help our team, because it helps us too. We're not, even though it's your own business, you're not in business by yourself. You have someone to help you all along the way.
Yeah.
And I never had that in my other brick and mortar businesses. If it was meant to be, it was up to me. I had to do it. Well, we have people willing to help and train and teach. And if you're teachable, you're coachable, you're willing to follow a routine, anybody can do this.
Yeah. When I'm listening to you, if you wouldn't mind to look back and see what your life was maybe 20 years ago, in the middle of running several businesses, running around, what your family life looked like, what your level of stress looked like, and when you look at your life today, what would be the biggest difference for you to appreciate?
Vera, that's such an unbelievable question. It's stuff that I've tried to avoid talking about because I was a great provider, but I wasn't a good dad. I was gone all the time, 4 and 5 days a week, traveling on the road away from my family. And after a while, you know, being around sports, the things I loved, I made it more about me, and I'm embarrassed about that. And my children suffered. I had a great wife that was here to help, but my children suffered because I wasn't here all the time. I wish I'd have found this coming out of college. You know, they're teaching it today, by the way. Harvard, some big schools are teaching this type of business. Before they weren't. I just didn't know it was available. Mm-hmm. And this is the best form of business that I've ever seen because of what it allows you. We have products that nobody in the world has. An entrepreneur, I'll jump all over that because I don't have competition, right? And people need it. Everybody needs the product. Every day you're getting older and you're going to have health. As you diminish those redox signaling molecules, you're opening your body up for disease or sickness or illness. And so this can help with that. This is something everybody needs. Doesn't matter how young or how old. I have little babies drinking out of the bottle to people 100 years old.
And almost nobody knows about it still. Yeah.
Yeah. And they say, well, if it's so big, why is it sitting on the retail store? Well, it is because it starts with salt and water, and the ingredients on the bottle on the back, they would walk right by it and really not even understand what it does. And, you know, very wealthy man told our founder that this product needed to go through network marketing. And I don't even think he was knowledgeable what that was because he had been in the big corporate world. Yeah. But I think they chose the right path because it requires telling a story. It requires showing your love and passion for someone that you care for, to sit down and explain it to them. And if you can't explain it, send the video. We have all this stuff that explains it. Matter of fact, I find that the less talking you do and the more you use the tools, the quicker you grow, because people can see themselves saying, I can do that, versus having to know all that information.
That's true. I was exactly where you were, very skeptical, because I thought I knew everything about nutrition and supplemental world. I was in that space. But when it hit me and I was in a very bad place of my life with the pain all over my body and discomfort, I just took it to test the gel on my shoulder. And like you said, I wasn't in a mental space to start a business. I had my business. I couldn't even operate that because I just lost my husband. I was in bad place. But when I saw what it did for my shoulder within 10 minutes, I called my sponsor back and I was like, who am I kidding? I want to sell this. This is amazing. Everybody needs this. It's us who saw the effect on ourselves that feel compelled to tell the world about it. And I just had somebody, I would like to hear your opinion. What would you say? Because I had somebody, I sent some information to a doctor in Czech Republic, because I'm originally Czech, and I have some people that are looking into this. And she was interested in network marketing because she's looking for a different lifestyle. Well, before we can get on the phone, she wanted me to send some information. So I did. And she got back to me 15 days later when I asked her if she had a chance to look through it. And she said something that it was obvious to me that she didn't even look at it, because she said, well, products like that, there's tons of on the market. And if I'm not exciting about something, I can't sell it. And I'm like, okay, And I'm thinking, did you even look at it? Because if you have such a not understanding what this breakthrough is, I don't even want you to get involved, because this is not, you know, if you are not open-minded to even try it.
Well, I've talked to a lot of doctors, Vera. Some are very interested and some are all about the surgery, and they don't, if I get my patients well on this, then I don't have a practice. I said, actually, your practice would thrive, because I've seen that, but
Yeah.
they didn't study at med school like me. They don't think it's real. They see salt and water from Salt Lake City and they said, this is not real. This is a scam. It's not real. But here's what I tell them. There's 14 years of science now behind this product. Don't be ignorant like I was and not looking at it. When I finally decided to look at it, all the science was there. If you're going to research something, don't you think they would go to like Google Scholar or PubMed, where the doctors have studied it? Like, a lot of people,
Yeah.
the first thing they do is they get on Google and put in the company's name, and it says a product made of salt and water, or it's a scam. To me, Google's kind of the bathroom wall of the internet. Anybody can say anything, and I can go on and say anything. It doesn't mean it's true. And what I have found, that Big Pharma and a lot of the companies will hire people all day long to make negative comments and say things about products that are quality, from physical therapy to chiropractic care to nutrition, all the good stuff, because they don't want you on it.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, if you really want to do your homework, go to Google and look what they say, but it's not real, because that's where I look too.
Yeah.
And I've learned firsthand what it does. And if you're skeptical and cynical, this is what I tell the doctors I want you to do. Try the product yourself, doc. Go today and go get your complete blood work, blood levels, sugar levels, cholesterol levels, get your SED rate level, because your SED rate, that's SEDRATE, that's your inflammation marker in your body. That shows you how inflamed your body is. Get on this product for 90 days, because the company says 15% of the people see results in the first week. I was one of those. Half of the people, are 50%, in the first month, but 90% in 90 days. And I want you to just think about that for a minute. If I told you had a 90% success rate if you try this product in 90 days, would you not look at it? Those are better odds than we could give our surgery patients sometimes.
For sure. Yeah.
And it can't hurt you because it's non-toxic. So my question is, what do you have to lose with a 30-day money-back guarantee? And that's why I tell my people to do. And then after 90 days, go get that same blood work done again and compare those two tests, because those tests don't lie. That's the real proof in the pudding you should be looking for. What's it doing inside my body that I can't see or feel? Sometimes people take medications for their heart or other things. They don't always see or feel it. They believe in a preventative product. Same thing with this. So knowing it can't hurt you, I don't know why everybody doesn't just come to it 100 miles an hour to grab it and test it, because it's life-changing. And we've seen, we have 4 nutritional products in the company, and Dr. Ann Louise Gelman, you can look her up. She's kind of the pioneer of nutrition. She's written 35 books on nutrition here in the US. She says that taking ASEA and taking these 4 nutritionals was one of the best opportunities for total wellness in your body. There's a lot of nutrition on the market, but our nutritional products are patented with a system called bioamplify, and that allows your body to absorb the nutrition you're taking. She says when you're sick, your cells are not healthy. They can't absorb the nutrition. It's going right through your stomach and right into the toilet.
Yeah.
This allows your body to be absorbed. So that system, that I was on 10 or 11 supplements already as an athlete, but I wasn't getting results. So I switched to ASEA, and then I went to their nutritionals, and I went to their topical gel, which is incredible. I use that every day for discomfort, or if I cut myself, it'll stop the bleeding. If I have a skin rash or skin disorder, any type, put it on. It's just amazing. Probably the best I've seen in 40 years of medicine, what that product can do. And so it's the same product as the liquid you drink, except we believe in healing from the inside out and the outside in. So you put the gel on the outside and put the liquid on the inside. And it's just a great product and a great discovery in science. And you will see more of it as we move. Each year as we go by, more and more and more people's lives are changing around the world. And we're in 33 countries and looking for more to take you to. So it's been wonderful.
I was going to ask you what you want to end on to kind of leave us with, but you have said already so much beautiful wisdom that I don't know if we can top it off, but I'm sure you can.
I would just say that don't be cynical or skeptical like me. Don't wait till something happens to your life before you try something that cannot hurt you. It only can help you, and it can replenish into your body what your body's not even capable of doing anymore.
Yeah.
Our med schools are teaching it, our athletes are on it. It's here to stay. And if they want to be ignorant to the fact that it's here, or they don't want to believe in it, wait till they get really sick. And I already have a lot of people calling me back that told me no initially, and now they have an issue and they've been watching me, and they'll say, "Hey, you still selling that salt water?" I go, "I sure am." And they get on it and their life changes. So now it's become a joke sometimes with some of the people. Just the science is here and it's real. And, our founder, Burtis Norton, and his son, Tyler Norton, I don't know, I can never say thank you enough for this discovery and this company, what they do to help so many people's lives. The leadership's just incredible. That's all I can say. And so if you're not doing it, you're missing out. I'll just tell you that. And it's all about timing, Vera. So if you're not looking at it right now, it's okay. Write it down and remember it, because there's going to be a day like me. I woke up and something was wrong, or you have a loved one or someone you work with that's suffering. Just know that we have something that can help them, and it's real. And so the best gift that you can give anybody, and I'll close with this, is the gift of health. Have passion and compassion for people. Don't make it about yourself. Make it about others. And when you're doing that, you will grow this business. That's what I've seen.
That's a beautiful, beautiful. Leland, thank you so much for your time and for those beautiful words. I had more questions, but I don't want to top it off with anything else, because this was beautiful closing for our podcast. And I certainly hope from the bottom of my heart that even some people that initially look at it and swipe it off, they will reconsider, because we both have seen a lot of people's lives and conditions changed, and it's so worth it to your attention and time. It's like you said, it's heartbreaking when you know somebody is suffering and it may help, and they wouldn't even open their mind to look at it.
If you will start from scratch and not be concerned with the outcome before the become, it doesn't hurt as much when they say no. And there's a doctor in our group, he made this comment, and it pretty well sums it up. It's kind of like that flight attendant on the flight.
Yes.
They're walking down that aisle and they say, pretzels, peanuts. They don't care whether you want it or not. They're just trying to get to the other end of that aisle. And that's where I've kind of got an attitude now, is I have a job to do. It's to share this beautiful science with people, whether they say yes or no. I can't help what they're thinking or what they think, because I was that person. So I don't get upset anymore. I don't let it bring me down. I know what this can do. And if not now, maybe later. And here's what I do when they tell me no. Thank you for your time to share this great discovery with you. Right now, you may not think you need it, and that was me. But tomorrow, next week, next month, somebody, either you or someone you care for, is going to be sick and have problems. Know that we have a product here that can help them. And I would like to leave the door open and I want you to feel free to call me at any time, because I was that same way. And so I make sure they have my number, and then I put them on another list that I have, and I follow up with them usually between 3 and 6 months, just to say, and even sooner if we come up with a new product, because then I can come back and say, hey, since we last talked, we have another product and it's phenomenal. And now the company just this week has released new technology that nobody else in network marketing has. It allows you to just send a 1-minute clip on, say, one of the products. So let's say, Vera, I knew you had a specific injury. Just go to my phone, click on that video, text you, and it pops up on your phone and says, Vera was thinking about you today, and I saw this. It's been great for me. Maybe this could help you. If you're interested, please give me a call. And then when they open it, you see on your phone that they've opened it. You can look at it. there's so many tools you can follow that nobody's ever had access to in this business, quote, the social media world.
Yeah.
And we have something that nobody else has. And so I encourage people to take a look at this and change your life, whether it's physically, financially, or both. That's your choice. But know that it's here. And if you care for somebody enough and they're hurting, you might steer them this direction to let them know that it's here.
You reminded me of one thing that I would like to still ask you about, because a few years back, I remember very recently that you went through another health challenge and you were already on the product for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Would you like to touch up on that? Because I think that was quite moving for me. I remember you were talking about it after, but I'm sure it wasn't a joke when you were dealing.
Yeah. Well, you know what we've all been dealing with the last couple of years here in the world, the sickness that everybody deals with. Well, I went to a national convention and I picked that up. And a few days after I got home, I got very sick and tried to tough it out like I did before. But finally, after about the 10th or 12th day, I was miserable. I went into the emergency room just to get medicine for it. And they admitted me. And they told me it was very bad. And they started me on all these medications. And I had the ICU nurses working with me around the clock. And on the 6th day, they told me, your numbers are so big that if you're not better by morning, we're going to put you on a vent. And Vera, to be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to pull through it. That the night before, I just laid there in bed and I couldn't talk to anybody. Nobody could come in the room. I was just isolated, and I could see my career, everything I'd done was just my family. It was just all going to go away.
Yeah.
I just felt I was in that valley of the shadow of death that you hear about. I was there, and I just began to pray and just say, Lord, if you want me to get through this, I'm going to leave it up to you. I turned to him in final minutes, and I had never felt a peace like that. And the next morning I called my wife and told her what I experienced and how I felt. And she said, you can't give up. You got to keep fighting. And I said, well, then do me a favor. I want you to bring my redox. I want you to bring the gel, the topical gel, and I want you to bring me a nebulizer, because I'd heard about a lot of doctors using this to nebulize because a lot of this gets in the lung. And
you have access to it for a few days, right?
I asked the hospital to give me a nebulizer and to bring it in, and they said, no, it wasn't approved. And so I called my wife and I said, no, the shift changes at this time. Usually they're all at the desk, not doing anything. I'm the first room off the left when you come off the elevator. I want you to get a sack. I want you to bring me some drink and some gel and a nebulizer. Put some pajamas or something on top where it looks like clothing. I want you to just walk in my room and set it down and leave. And that's what she did. And that night, I drank 24 of the 32 ounces in this bottle. Now, the recommended dose is 4 ounces, but I had been taking 12, 14 ounces for years. Can't hurt you because it's native, right? And so it made everything better quicker. And then she brought in the gel, the topical gel, which comes in a tube like this. And I rubbed that gel all over my chest because it penetrates deep. So I drank it and I penetrated it on top. And then I used my nebulizer and I took 1 teaspoon of this liquid and nebulized it like a lot of doctors were using with their patients. And I used almost a whole bottle in the night. I used probably half a tube of cream. And then by morning, I just felt better. But I was up most of the night just treating myself. And the doctor walked in, and it was a lady doctor, and she caught me doing a nebulizing treatment. She goes, I thought I told you you couldn't do that. I said, no, you said you couldn't provide it. This is mine, and I elected to do it on my own. And she smiled. She goes, well, your numbers are in half this morning. Congratulations. You know, you've made the turn. And within 48 hours, I was out of the hospital. And the doctor asked me for my business card. She wanted to know what this stuff was. She had never seen anything like it. Yeah. And so we can't make any claims. You know, this product is not a treatment or a cure for any particular sickness or illness. It's a cellular communication product that helps communicate with your cells in your body. And when your cells in your body get healthy, your body can heal itself. That's the beauty of this science. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're on medications, doesn't matter if you're on treatments, of any kind, radiation, it doesn't matter what you're on. It's already in your body.
It's not
It's
going to
life
interfere.
in your body. So it doesn't interfere with it. So what product that you can just take and it doesn't interfere with anything? Well, we have it. And so it was a game changer again for me. So that not once, but twice, this product has changed my life. And then with all the injuries I get at the ranch and hurt and, discomfort and things I go through, it's helped me many, many times with that stuff too. And not to mention that my skin looks better. Every time I hit my arms, I would bruise back then, had bruises all my arm. I don't do that anymore. I mean, my skin is not healthy. It's just my body is healed. The longer I'm on the product, the better I seem to get. So our bodies don't get to where we are overnight, and they don't change overnight. This is a process. But if you'll believe in the science of this company and this product and stay on the product, I believe you'll see results because that's what it's patented to do.
That's what I was going to ask you. Why would you continue taking it when that challenge you originally entered with was resolved?
Well, that product, you look at all the top athletes in the world, people that are super healthy, they got it. Once it gets into the lung, it can get you. But I went in for 5 days and wasn't able to take my product. So I was able to get it back, and I believe in myself that that's what turned it. There's nothing else that was different other than this. But I'll forever believe in this product for what I've seen, what it's done for me, and for the quality of life it's given me, both physically and financially. I'll never be off of this product.
I'm so glad you are here, successful, and sharing this message with the world because again, thank you, Leland, because when I first met you, I first saw you on video and you made an impact on me. But when we first met, I remember we just hugged and cried, which is a lot crying around in a SEA company, I know, because we are sincere, moved by this, moved by the power of this. And we really are moved with the philosophy of helping as many people as we can.
I want to thank you personally for this podcast, for reaching out to me. Thank you for being the leader that you are and helping other people too. We all have a job to do. And I just appreciate, and this is interesting. I'll bring this up because you're cross-line for me, right? What I'm doing here today doesn't benefit me at all.
Yes.
We all have a job to do to share with other people. It can help you and your team. And even though we're cross-line, that's what I see in this company with leaders doing cross-line stuff to help each other. Where do you find that?
Yes.
Our founder teaches that.
Yeah.
Our founder teaches it.
The philosophy of this company is seriously anything I ever seen in my life. And I know you said that because that's the people before profit. It's
That's what our founder said. If you're just here to sell this product, if we're all here just to sell the product, it eventually could die. It's not about selling a product or making a transaction.
Yeah.
It's about reaching out and changing people's lives. And when it changes their lives, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go share it with somebody else and go share it with somebody else. And it's the trickle down effect of what one or two people can do and then watch the movement happen because it's real and it's true. And so we have a job to do. Yeah. We need to share this with everybody. There's so many people out there today looking for this, Vera, and they don't even know it's here.
They are praying for something.
It's not in the store.
Praying for hope.
Yeah, it's not in the store. And so the only way they're going to hear about it is the same way the doctors hear about it. Patients coming in that their lives are changed and the doctors are blown away because they were trying everything and couldn't help them. So, it's real. And it's beautiful to see this company and their teaching and their ethos and what they teach all of us about how to go out into the world and help other people. It's not about, we take the I out and it's we power potential, not only in ourselves, but through other people. And I'll close with that.
Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to reach to Leland directly, what would be the best way to reach out to you?
They can reach out on Facebook to me if they want. My name is spelled a little differently. It's
I'll put it in the show notes so anybody can see it.
That would probably be the best way. Reach out through Facebook, through Messenger, and I will respond back to you. probably be the best way.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks again. Thanks again for wonderful time spent and for your message. And I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. And thank you for making time for me. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Wonderful.